The San Antonio Spurs were looking like a very solid team this year. Bringing in Chris Paul, bringing in Harrison Barnes to go with Wemby, Vassell, all those young guys they got, also drafting Stefon Castle. But now they get news that Devin Vassell is out until at least November, which that kind of messes up the beginning of their season, kind of messes up the chemistry. As for Vassell, he's a great player. His three-point percentage did go down last year, which is something I'm a little worried about. But overall, just a very solid player. I think he's a great number 2 to Wembenyama. He averaged almost 20 points a game last year, 4.1 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.1 steals per game, while shooting 47% from the field, which we talked about his three-point percentage going down. That actually went up. He's also a great defender. Watch him recover right here against Gordon Hayward. He gets beat off the rip, but then still recovers, uses that length and athleticism to get the block. Him and Wembanyama are going to be very special together in the future, and he is definitely a mid-range oriented guy, mid-range first type guy, because he's very good in the mid-range, 55% from 2-point range. The three-point shot will continue to develop and grow, and I think eventually he will be good, but big loss for the Spurs with him being out until November. And then you got Stefon Castle, who they just went out and drafted. I really like Castle. 11.1 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 2.7 assists. The dude just wins. Went and won a national championship, was a great piece to that UConn team. 47% from the field. The three-point percentage we will address later. He can be developed in San Antonio. I think he's more of a true point guard. Hopefully they have a good shooting coach, but you see here he's already got experience throwing it into, oversized big. Wembanyama 7'4", Klingon 7'3". Both obviously very large humans, and it's a lost art being able to throw that post-entry pass. He's also very, very good at defense. This is my favorite play from Castle from the pre-draft process, where he is the guy. He guards Devin Carter here, and then he's going to go double the post, and then he's still going to end up, I'm sorry, number 14, I don't know your name. He's still going to end up guarding number 14 and causes a 5-second count, 3-second count in the lane. But this three-headed monster that they now have funneling in toward Wemby, and then you also have Sohan, is going to be very good defensively. I think it's going to be, fun to watch on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe not for opposing fans, but definitely for San Antonio fans, because once all these guys, grow, develop chemistry together, they're going to be really good. Stefon Castle is a very physical defender right there. You try to go through his chest, you just simply cannot. And these four are going to be special together on the defensive side of the ball. Now, last year their big problem was, they were on average 23 years old and they only won 22 games. They bring in a 39-year-old Chris Paul and a 32-year-old Harrison Barnes, trying to kind of bring in that veteran leadership, and this is probably what the lineup will look like. I think Castle's going to come off the bench. We'll see who they promote to the starting two-guard spot with Vassell now out. You also can't forget about Mamu. But this whole lineup, don't get it twisted, even with Vassell being out, is still going to revolve around Victor Wembenyama. That's not going to change a thing. He is one of the great, he just had one of the greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen, and he looks like potentially the next GOAT. It's not crazy to say that. This is the 3-time MVP right here, just not being able to do a single thing against Wembanyama. And 7'5" guys shouldn't be out in passing lanes. All right, that is insane. I know he's got like an 8-foot wingspan, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, his eyes are at the rim. He's looking down into the rim when he gets up there to dunk it, and he will only be 21. Also, his conditioning, his ability to play in all of those games that he played last year, his unique training, because usually big guys get hurt. That has not been the case so far, knock on wood, for Victor Wembenyama. And also, Chris Paul is obviously a great passer. Look at what he did for Clint Capella. Before CP3, those were the numbers. And then Chris Paul comes to Houston. Of course, he had James Harden as well, but Chris Paul coming into Houston, and the numbers really inflate. So I think that's going to help make Victor Wembanyama even better in his second year. Chris Paul, yes, he's 39 years old, so he's definitely a good bit out of his prime, but he still averaged 9.2 points, 6.8 assists, and 4 rebounds per game last year for the Warriors. 44% shooting from the field, 37% from 3, 3.6 attempts from downtown in 26 minutes a game. Throwing Klay Thompson open here, coming off of the Wiggins screen. He reads Sengun's eyes. Here's what he does here. and then Klay is going to come off the screen. Jalen Green doesn't get through in time. Klay has time to pump fake and then still shoot it and knock it down. Making the quick read here, Jock Landale gets a little bit too far into the paint, and he just throws it behind to Sarge. I think Sarge, a little unrelated here, but I think he's going to be a fantastic piece for the Nuggets this year with Westbrook coming off the bench. But anyways, back to the Spurs. Chris Paul, debatable if that was an offensive foul, but he can definitely still score, can definitely still get his own buckets. Gets to the elbow right here, knocks it down. Overall, I mean, Chris Paul is just, yes, he's benefiting from playing with two of the greatest shooters of all time, but he can still run an offense. He can still get guys shots and facilitate to other guys around him, and then he can still knock down the three ball a little bit, all right? You also bring in Harrison Barnes, another former Warrior, who spent a lot of time with the Kings, also spent some time in Texas with the Dallas Mavericks. Now he's in San Antonio. Averaged 12.2 points a game, 3 rebounds, 1.2 assists in 29 minutes per game last year as a King. 47% shooting from the field, 39% from 3 on 4.7 attempts. He's great off the ball as well, great cutter. He just knows how to play basketball at the NBA level. And, you know, as a 32-year-old veteran, that's what you want out of guys like that you bring in. Still a good shooter, especially from the corner. And then he's got an ISO Draymond right here. Get to his spot and knock it down. That is still not easy to do against Draymond, who's still a great defender, even at his old age. ISO game here, sees Draymond coming, so he spins out and knocks it down over Podziemski. He can be a great spacer, like we talked about, knocking it down from beyond the arc. You got Barnes, and hopefully he can help mentor and develop Vassell once he comes back from injury. With that being said, if you've made it this far into the video, make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. It will really help us out in the YouTube algorithm. As you can see here, a large majority of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Also, we're looking for about 200 likes on today's video, so if you could help us out with that, it'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, let's just take a look here. Let's watch some Victor Wembenyama defense. That'll be fun, right? They have their point of attack defenders, which funnel into Victor Wembenyama. No, sir, Reggie Jackson. That's crazy. I mean, it looks like he's playing drop coverage, and then at the same time, he's able to contest a floater from the free throw line. Şengün tries to go through his chest. Doesn't quite work out. Here, I mean, this play is crazy. He stops a 4-on-2 fast break essentially by himself. Because I think that's Branham up at the top. Doesn't really do much help. That's pretty much how you don't play transition defense right there if you're Branham. But, I mean, hey, you can do whatever you want when you got a 7'5" monster in the paint that can also hang with Anthony Edwards on the perimeter, who's one of the quickest, most athletic players in the league. Pirtle tries to just go right through his chest. Doesn't work out. He's 7'5" with an 8-foot wingspan. Like we talked, that just doesn't sound real. And then, of course, you have one of the greatest coaches of all time that gets to work and develop this every single day. Now, they have an exciting future, that's for sure. They have a lot of picks over the next few years. You can pause if you'd like, but they have the potential to have 4 picks in 2024 or 2025 and 2026, and then the potential to have 3 in 2027. Then, of course, they trade back from the Dillingham trade to pick up a couple of extra picks in 2030 and 2031. They have Boston's pick, as long as it's in the lottery in 2028, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, but hey, anything is possible. 4 years is a very long time in the NBA. Of course, giving up on Rob, or giving him up, I don't know, if they will regret that too much. We'll see. Can they make the playoffs? Probably not. Can they compete for a play-in? Definitely. I mean, they have Popovich, they have Victor Wembenyama, Vassell once he comes back. This is not a terrible team. Not as bad as it was last year, that's for sure. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like button and hit that subscribe button down below if you did enjoy. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.